Hey, my name's Bex. I'm in a bit of a weird spot right now, as you can see. So here I am, in the end. I have changed the way that end bridges generate. You're not gonna see a difference, I promise. You're really not. When I say they generate differently, I mean that they're now seed dependent and they generate the same time on every seed, the same way, instead of being random. That is in fact an issue that I had to fix. And I had to fix it so that I could also fix this thing right here, the exit end portal. In old versions of this pack, it simply just wouldn't generate. It just wasn't there. It was just nothing. But now it generates, giving the player a way to leave the end, and also a way to respawn the dragon. And this also lets me introduce a new mechanic to make end stone and end turf a bit more renewable in the end game, and that is simply by having them regenerate when the dragon is respawned. And I'll demonstrate this now. You might be thinking, Bex, why would you do that? That's a little weird. That's a bit of a weird decision. Well, it's because if the player hasn't already gone around and destroyed all of the end bridges, then look what happens. As the pillars generate their new crystals, they start to destroy the connections between the bridges. And these are pretty essential to the dragon fight. And so to fix this, when the dragon respawns, all the bridges simply regenerate. Is now a good time to mention that these end bridges are not actually properly programmed into the world gen. These are entirely generated using command. Dragon's dead. But while we're in the end, I might as well go show you something. It took me a while to find one, but here it is, an end shipwreck. And this definitely feels like a bit more of a challenge than your typical end city ship. Even just being here, even in creative, is just a lot more threatening. And it does add these little holes where you can kind of just fall through the ship. And so you'll want to patch those up as soon as you get down here. Another small change I've made to the end ships is that you can find a compass called the Compass of Ooh, a little Adventure Time reference, because why not? Why not have a little fun? Or the Compass of 00 if you are ever so slightly boring. And all this is, literally all this is a compass that points to 00. That's all it is. And the reason I added this into the game is so that, one, players can get back to the overworld without having to pull up their F3 menu, and two, so that players can know which direction to go to get deeper into the end, and thus which direction to go to find more ships. And these have a 66% chance of dropping from the vaults in the end city ships. But I'm still going to keep a majority of the important loot in here. I'm probably also going to add firework rockets into this loot table, just so that the player has something to boost their elytra with. Hey, this world is getting pretty laggy. It's not a chopping block issue, it's just that my world has so much going on in it for dev testing purposes. Honestly, this is not a very well-maintained world. But it's okay, I won't be needing this world or this set anymore here pretty soon, because chopping block is almost done. Yeah, the big update is just about ready to come out. I'm having some playtesters playtest it, and once we squash these final bugs and get some final polish done, then it's ready to go and the big update can come out and chopping block can be updated to 1.21 and have a ton of new features. Features such as vertical slabs now being craftable in the stone cutter. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And a whole new world of color, which makes detailed builds like this possible with a lot more color variation. Tempest machines, which, yes, don't worry, magic machines will automatically update to Tempest machines when your world updates. The magic machines will simply replace themselves with a downwards facing Tempest machine. And it's the only way to get my fletching table data pack. And I forgot to mention this in the video, but yes, it does actually work as a workstation for a villager, because it is just the vanilla fletching table, I have just added an invisible minecart on top that you can right click on. That's actually why you can't place blocks on top of this. But hopefully, and I mean this, I seriously mean this, chopping block, the big update, will come out by the end of next month. So anyway, I'm gonna figure out how to make one of my advancements in chopping block a little better. So there is an advancement in chopping block for getting dirt from composting mulch. Slight problem, however, and that slight problem is that the player can get that same advancement from just placing down dirt and then breaking it again. While I want the advancement to be given specifically for composting mulch into dirt. Okay, so the fix for this was really easy. All I did was I removed the criteria for the actual getting dirt achievement, and I added this command that just gives the player an achievement if they compost a full thing of dirt. So if I revoke the advancement from myself and I just compost some dirt up here, you'll see once the composter fills up, I get the advancement and I can get my dirt here. And to make this change a little more consistent and just polished overall, let's rewrite the description of the advancement. And if we reload our game and check our advancements tab, let's see, fill a composter with mulch. And that's a little bit better. Well, actually a lot better. Animated Java got a huge update that really increased its efficiency and optimizations, meaning that Beesources doesn't cause as much lag anymore, which means I might feel comfortable raising or even removing the cap on how many Beesources can naturally spawn in the world at once. So this is the line in our main function in Beesources that determines how many Beesources can exist in the world while still naturally spawning Beesources. And I might go ahead and just bump that up to 24. And we'll see how that fares on other worlds. So the real test is going to be on my chopping block survival world. I have an absolute ton of Beesource bees in my greenhouse over there, so let's just sleep through the night, and in the morning they will all come out of their beehives and we will see what kind of lag we get. Previously it would bump us up to about a bajillion MSPT, honestly closer to about 60 or 70, but it seems that we're not too bad right now. Granted, a lot of the bees we have out right now are normal vanilla bees, but we have a gold bee, an archaeology bee. We have a few Beesource bees out right now, and it's not affecting our MSPT too much. So right now we're running a tick sprint just to get through the entire night, and that actually ended just about perfectly. We're just now waiting for the bees to come out of their beehives, and we gotta keep an eye on our MSPT. Right now it's at about 12, and all our bees just came out all at once, and previously this would push our MSPT up to 50 or 60, sometimes even 70 or 80, but right now we are absolutely cruising at a solid 30 MSPT. I have a lot of Beesource bees. I did the fudging thing where I just put a bunch of Beesources into beehives so that I could breed up more Beesources and just kind of override the limit that way, which is how you're supposed to do it. But now I might just be able to justify removing that limit entirely. Man, when people in my Discord server told me that Animated Java got an update and was way more optimized, I did not expect it to be this much. And mind you, I've made modifications to the code that make it less efficient than it already is. It's insane. Also, I just love that this spinny animation is actually fluid now and not all jittery like it was before. This whole pack just looks so much more fluid now because of all of these changes. By the way, don't expect throwing slabs on a stone cutter to work to get vertical slabs anymore. That's been removed. Why has it been removed, I hear you ask? Well, it's because I finally figured out how to do this. That's right, they're craftable in the stone cutter now. They're even craftable from full blocks. You get 2. And if you've downloaded this pack from my planet Minecraft before, you'll be aware of a bug where once you break a slab, you can't really place it back down again because it'll just straight up be broken. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. I fixed that as well. While we're talking about vertical slabs, I want to bring up that some people suggested that I should use 4 shulkers inside of the vertical slabs in order to get the proper hitbox, and use the scale attribute to scale them down to the size of 1/8 of a block. And while yes, that would be almost a perfect solution, and it would be perfect for the hitbox, it would not be perfect for efficiency. If I used 4 shulkers for each slab, that would mean that each vertical slab would require 9 entities. It would require the display entity, it would require the 4 shulkers, and it would require the 4 markers that the shulker needs to ride. And those of you experienced with commands might be saying, well, that's not a problem because shulkers only add lag to the game when they're ticked. And that's the problem. They're always going to be ticked because of how this needs to work. And even if they weren't being ticked, that's still 4 entities that do cause lag actively, because the main display entity needs to be ticked, and the 4 shulkers, even with no AI, are going to be adding lag to the game. So I can't just use 4 shulkers for the hitbox, sadly, but that's okay. It's genuinely okay, it's not a big deal. The one issue that I do find with vertical slabs is that you can't place them on the backs of each other. And you might be thinking, oh, you can fix that by making all the item frames fixed. That also does not work, because then you can place them in invalid states, like inside of end rods and all that. And for as optimized as I need chopping block to be, I can't be adding a bunch of checks for blocks and valid place states when the game has a check for that built into item frames that is pretty much perfect for what I need. I try to make as few compromises as I can for chopping block, but this is one compromise that I just need to make. Welcome to the last island that I will probably build for this set. It's been a good one. The final feature that I've added to chopping block that I haven't shown off yet is quite a fun one. When you catch a fish in open water, it will turn into the fish that you caught. And this only happens with open water, so if you create, for instance, a single water block fish farm, then you're just gonna be fishing up fish items. I've also reintroduced the fish farms that were in the game before 1.16, so you can build those old designs that use like trapdoors and note blocks and all that stuff. And this is just so that there is a way for the player to get certain mobs, such as fish. There's also a chance to fish up aquatic hostile mobs, such as drowns and guardians. This is so that there is access to prismarine, as well as a way for the player to organically encounter enemies like the drowned. And so, with that all being said, it's the end of Chopping Block Season 3. This is the last devlog that there's going to be until the next update for Chopping Block. This means that the next video that I upload relating to Chopping Block will be the guide and tutorial. And when that video comes out, as a treat, you will get this world to download for free. The world that I have filmed the entirety of the Chopping Block devlog on will be available for download completely for free. But with that all being said, make sure to join my Discord server, because I'm running beta testing right now, and you could get a chance to test Chopping Block early. So go ahead and join my Discord server, and you will be among the first to know when Chopping Block, the big update, is ready to come out. But with all that said and out of the way, thank you for watching. My name is Bex. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I'm out. I'll see you next time.